Hey guys, Coach Mitch, my sixth candidate who went down for the Secret Service super interview just let me know today she passed. So 6 went down, 6 came back as champions. Other 6, 4 are civilians, 2 law enforcement. So do not tell me you cannot do this because you're a civilian. It will not fly with me. Most of my candidates are civilians. I have a 72% sign-up rate that are civilians, okay? 20% are prior military or prior LEO. The majority are civilians. If they can do it, you can do it, okay? But let's look at the reasons why people are not passing the Secret Service super interview. First one is topical, generic, right? Why do you want to be Secret Service? Oh, I want a challenge. I want a good career. I want to be, I've always been interested in law enforcement. You know, I want a challenge and I want a good career, beyond topical, beyond boring, tells nobody nothing whatsoever, and they're not going to be okay with that. They are already going to put you to the bottom of the pile there. And from there, you got to work your way up or keep working your way down. You cannot give this generic type answer at the Secret Service super interview. Think about it. Why are you there? You cannot say, I want a challenge, I want a good career. That doesn't make sense at all, right? Now, if you say, I'm always interested in law enforcement, right? That's okay, but it cannot stand there alone as your one and only answer. You understand? You have to go beyond that. You just can't say, oh, I've always wanted to be in law enforcement. No. You say that, but then you back it up. You shore it up, right? You give it some support. You just don't let it sit there in the wind like that. Oh, I've always wanted to be in law enforcement. That doesn't tell anybody anything. You have to give it much more than just that. I'm telling you guys, these people are not playing with you. They're very cordial. It's a very cordial panel. They're very professional, but let me tell you right now, they're nope, nope, nope. That's what they're doing to you. So you got to be prepared. You want them to be impressed with your answers that are based upon honesty and truth, but also something they can do what? Relate to, relatability, familiarity. That's what you want. Number 2, of course, talking too much. The people who ramble are the ones who practice with their friends and their boyfriends and girlfriends. They think they sound good, and they really don't, but they think they do. I'm always asking people, say, why do you think you're ready for an interview? Oh, because I practiced with my girlfriend, my boyfriend, and we did this and that. Okay, but how do they know what you said was correct? How do they know your tonality? How do they know you're digging into the minutia of the question they're asking you? That's what I get. It's okay to have that in my coaching program. It's okay to fail in my coaching program. It's okay to feel silly sometimes in my coaching program. It's okay to ask what you might think is a stupid question in my coaching program. I am there to develop you into a champion. Nobody becomes an interview champion for Secret Service overnight. It takes time, it takes work, it takes dedication on your part and my part. Understand? So, if you don't put in the work, you see yourself up there in front of 3 professionals for Secret Service, and you're going to be rambling away. They'll be like, what is this guy talking about? What does it mean? It shows poor control, right? Weak communication, nervousness, unclear thinking. They don't want that. They don't want rambling to their answer. They want to hear concise answers like I want from you too. And this is what we work on all the time, is giving you concise answers. Because what happens with people, they start rambling, you turn off the interview panel. They're like, oh God, here we go, right? They don't want to hear it. Number 3, they don't show decision making. This is what happens for my civilians all the time, because they walk in there thinking, again, this could be a civilian type interview. You know, they'll say, where are you going to be in 5 years? Oh, you know what? I went to Harvard, so I know they'll ask that. Don't even care. A Harvard education will not make you situationally aware of a high-risk situation near a VIP on a stormy winter night. Doesn't mean jack diddly to nobody, and they know it. You got to come into the scene with much more than just that, because they're not going to ask you about that. They want to see, can you show good decision making? Why? Because that's over half your job is about decision making, making the best choice amongst 3 or 4 choices. That's what I'm testing you on. That's what I show you how to do and show you how to answer. This is serious stuff here, right? The problem with people who can't make a decision is this. They don't know how to understand why they acted a certain way. They can't understand what a risk they were assessing. They can't understand what options they were considering. In my coaching program, you're going to get 2 or 3 options to consider. And that's the big deal, because you got to know which one's the best. And that's how we do it. Because they are going to expect the same thing from you guys. You got to understand this. This is why I say time and time again, don't bring that civilian stuff into this interview. They don't care what school you went to, man. They don't care about where you're going to be in 5 years. That doesn't matter. I'm trying to reduce their 68% fail rate in this interview panel alone by giving you guys this little tidbits of information. Do not walk in there as Mr. and Mrs. Civilian, because you're going to just get yourself hammered. Come back later. You're not ready. Goodbye. Next one, avoiding accountability. Now, this one, as the years go by, I notice we need to show this more and more, because our current climate, right, the past 20 years are showing people, could be our parents, could be our loved ones, could be the politicians, people are showing less and less accountability and trying to pass off blaming others, denying mistakes, or saying nothing at all, and that's what they don't want. They don't want to deal with that, because I'm going to ask you, and they're going to ask you too, about mistakes, conflict, and criticism. Those are going to come at you from me for sure, because I'm pretty darn sure you're going to enter that as well in their interview panel. But if you're sitting there trying to blame others for a decision you made, denying a mistake and not showing accountability, or saying nothing when they ask you right to your face, what would you do here? That's a problem, right? You have to put on your, you know what? I'm going to take this a blame, but I'm going to show my growth from it, and we'll go on from there. That takes time to teach you how to word it in a certain way, because they're listening to how you say it in a certain way. They want a certain answer to their question. They don't want to hear, oh yeah, that wasn't me, that was supposed to, they don't want to hear none of that kind of crap. You own it. Once you own that situation, you have to say, well, it went bad, but here's what I did to make it better, right? Or own it, it went good, this is what I did to make it good. You have to take responsibility in these scenarios from the first one to the last one. They don't want to hear about you acting like Mr. or Mrs. Current, person in America who doesn't take responsibility at all. They don't want that. You have to get up there to the plate and answer the question they ask you and have a good response. Either way, good or bad, have a good response. Another one I see is a lot, guys, is that before they even ask the first question, so you sit down in front of these guys, and you're ready for your question. Maybe you twitch a little bit, maybe you're looking around, looking nervous, you looking scared. You guys, they are going to look at that and call it your presence, your aura, right? If your composure is off, if your maturity is off, if your listening skills are off, if your professionalism is off, if you are sitting there like you don't belong there, your poor presence can weaken strong answers. Poor presence can weaken strong answers. I'll show you how to do this as well. When you go in there, what you do. When you leave, what you do. There is an order that goes on within the Secret Service Super Interview that I teach, and I'll show you how to do it. You just don't walk in there and hang out and do your thing. It's not like that. And people need to understand. If you understand first, it's a paramilitary environment, then you should understand there are certain expectations of you. Yeah, but Coach Mitch, I'm a civilian. Doesn't matter. I don't mean anything. I want you to get that badge. And therefore, my coaching will show you how to get into the systems here and learn how to pass this interview so you keep on going with your career so you can do what? Continue your mission. That's what I want for you. Last one is this. I hear it all the time. And I feel bad when I hear this because people usually have gone to interview on their own the first time and tell me they bombed very bad. I thought it was like a normal interview. I hear this all the time. And guys, I'm not giving anybody a hard time for that because we're all trained that way, right? I was trained that way from birth too, right? You guys were too. The typical interview, what's your strength? What's your weakness? Where you want to be in 5 years? What school did you go to? What's your GPA? All that stuff, right? We were all taught that way, right? And there's not a lot of sources out there that teach us what happens in a Secret Service Super Interview. But I can tell you for the past 7 years, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen for you in that interview. And you have to have your life together to answer these questions. By your life, what do I mean by that? You got to understand your life, what you have lived, right? It doesn't mean you got to come there Mr. Johnny Perfect, right? But you got to understand what you live. That's what you and I are going to work on, what you lived. You guys have been through my program, you know what I'm talking about, right? Because we go through this process so many times, right? I learn your lives too. I learn what you've done, you know, and it's a great thing because when I coach you, right? We talk and we talk and we talk. We email. Sometimes we text, we talk. We do it all to get you to perfection. Like I have my 6 clients today who just passed. All 6 passed over the weekend at the ACE event. I'm so proud. If you guys are sitting there thinking, oh my God, another week working a job that I hate, and you know what? Maybe I can do Secret Service. Then why not take the first steps and start to enroll today? Go through the process. Stop thinking and maybe and possibly and gosh, shucks, I'm not sure. You don't want to be my age and have regrets, man. I have none. You know, I have tried everything I wanted to try, and now I said to myself 8 years ago, I want to coach people to success. I want you, if you want that badge on your chest, to get it going today. Sign up, go to Secret Service site, start the process. Let's get it done. Take care. Coach Mitch, continue your mission. Bye-bye.